I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And this morning, there's a new file in Handouts. It says something like Files for Regular Expressions 2. Uh, and you need to go to that folder in Handouts and create a Jupyter notebook. Okay? And let me know when you've got that done. Okay, Leah, how about you? Leah, are you there?
Wait, you said go to wait, you said do what?
Okay, there's a new folder in Handouts. So go to your home directory, then switch to the Handouts folder. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Go to Home, then in the Home directory, there's a folder called Handouts. And in Handouts, there's a folder called Files for Regex 2. Okay, and then there are two files in there, crimeandpunishment.txt and mbox-short.txt. And you need to create a new Jupyter notebook in that folder.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what you call it, but you need that to be able to do the work for this morning. Okay, now the problems. I want you to use a regular expression to find and print all lines in the file crimeandpunishment.txt containing, let me get this thing out of the way, the word chapter, which is all in uppercase, followed by one or more blank spaces, followed by one or more uppercase letters. Okay, so you have to remember how to get all the lines out of a file. So this is probably going to take you a few minutes because you have to recover the process for getting the lines out of a file. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 10 minutes, I think, to work on this. Then I'll come back and we'll talk about the solution. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the recording and I'll come back in 10 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at the solution. First, of course, you have to import the RE module. Then you create a file handle with the open statement, and you open the name of the file in quote marks, comma, quote R quote for read. This would work even without this. Then you start you're counting the number of lines. So for line in hand, lines plus equal 1. And then the real thing that we're focusing on right now is uh, regular expressions. So this says that you find in that line the word chapter, all in uppercase, then a blank space, one or more blank spaces, then uppercase letters, one or more. Okay, and you're searching for this regular expression in the string lines. And then you print line if you find it. And here you notice something interesting. You've got chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then it begins again. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and then it begins again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it begins again. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it begins again. And you find that there were 21,970 lines. Okay? Okay. So how'd you do with that? Was that okay? Okay, great. So let's go on to do something else. So we could relax the requirement to find chapter and also allows lines containing part to qualify. And the character it's the uppercase character above the backslash, and kind of like the upper right-hand corner of your keyboard. So this says or. So this is basically this is the same as what we had before, but it says you can find either chapter written in uppercase or part written in uppercase, and then the same requirements as before. And then you print the line if that is the case. So we've got part 1. So now you can see more clearly how the crime and punishment is structured. It's part 1, chapters 1 through 7, part 2, chapters 1 through 7, part 3, etc. Okay? So another trick in regular expressions is this thing, which you can use to specify that you'd accept either the word chapter or the word part, followed by one or more blank spaces, followed by one or more uppercase letters. Okay? So here's an exercise, and I just gave it to you. Find and count all lines containing the string .edu followed by one or more blank spaces. Note to use the period as a regular character instead of a wildcard preceded with a backslash. So ordinarily, dot is any character, right? Backslash dot says, no, we're not using dot as it's to have the particular meaning that it has in regular expressions. You just simply accept a dot as a dot. So this says that in the file mbox-short.txt that you found 315 occurrences of a string which contained .edu followed by one or more blank spaces. Okay? Okay, so again, I want you to read the file crimeandpunishment.txt and look for a question mark following a lowercase letter followed by a blank space. Count the lines that match this pattern. However, the question mark has a particular meaning in a regular expression. So to use the question mark as a regular character, precede it with a backslash. Okay? So again, I think this is about a 10-minute exercise, so I will give you 10 minutes to do this, and then I will come back. Okay, let's take a look at that. So here's the regular expression. It is a lowercase letter followed by a question mark, and note the use of the backslash so that the question mark does not have a special meaning, it just has the meaning question mark, followed by a blank space. And you find 951 lines which contain that expression. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, let's go on. Okay, read the file mbox-short.txt and look for one or more digits surrounded by blank spaces and count the lines that match this pattern. Also count the total number of times the pattern occurs. Okay, so again, this is I think a 10-minute exercise, so I'm going to stop the recording for 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about it. Okay. So to count, okay, well, here's the basic regular expressions problem. There's a blank space followed by one or more digits followed by another blank space. And because you want to know how many occurrences there are of this thing, you use re.findAll. And then if the length of matches is greater than 0, you add 1 to the number of lines. But to count the total number of patterns, you add the length of matches to patterns. So you began, of course, by indicating both lines and patterns, setting both equal to 0 as accumulation patterns. So you had 363 lines which contain the pattern, and in all, you had 641 occurrences of the pattern. Okay, so that's all for this morning. And we're going to do more on regular expressions on Friday. Okay? So, Keanu, do you want to leave? I want to talk to Leah alone for a minute. Okay, bye-bye.